I hear you.
I got everything turned off on my end. My bad.
Oh,
So sorry.
here we go.
Well, happy Friday, one and all. And, thanks for being here on time. I wasn't on time, so, my bad once again.
It's my fault. I was engaging him in a rousing discussion of atomizers and mods, and we kind of look at that, it's 2 minutes after. blame Tiger.
I know it's been a day of cleaning desk and cleaning workbench and rebuilding mods and building new devices. I built the Russian today and got it running. Both my Poldiacs were being a little doggish, so I tore them right apart to nothing, cleaned all the silver contacts and put it back together. Now they're both hitting like freight trains again. There's such a gradual drop in a Poldiac that, it's working. Then all of a sudden it's I think I should be vaping an ego because this isn't doing fuck all. Take it apart,
okay.
Clean all the juice. I've been running a leaky K-Fun on one of them, and so everything was full of juice. Like I had to wash juice out of the switch. Get that all cleaned, get it put back together, and just first puff, and I'm sure there was vape coming out of my ears. 0.5 ohm K-Fun, a sugar cookie on a fresh Panasonic.
That's probably what I'm due for, because technically I haven't torn it down yet. So it'll be a project, I think, for this week to take that all apart. And then you might be getting a Skype, Corey, I've got it all apart.
It's really simple. Take out the top first. So you take out the one screw that reverse threaded, then take out the other screw that's normally threaded, clean those contacts, put just the big screw back in, then flip the switch upside down, take the bottom one out in the two pieces, clean all the contacts, set it aside, then just loosen the top gently and it'll pop your switch out. Lift the switch right out, and you can press the silver pin out of it with your fingernail, pull the silver pin out, roll it in a paper towel, press it back into the switch, line the switch up so the signature face is upright, push the switch in, tighten the top post, then insert the bottom post, done. As long as you take it apart in that type of order, there's no problems. The other thing with it is it is a magnetic switch. If you just randomly take it apart, it will launch. Just saying.
Okay.
Typically when I'm doing it, I turn the ring so that the switch is locked into place.
Okay. That's a tip I can use. Thank you.
But once you have the Poldiac apart once, you'll never fear taking it apart again. It's an overly complex switch, but it's simplistic in its beauty. Like there's a lot of pieces there, but once you've had it apart once, there's only one way it goes back together. It really is quite simple.
Okay. Well, I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, I just haven't needed to. It works so well, and just left it alone.
No, mine it wasn't hitting right. And I thought it was a K-Fun, so I was going to rebuild, and so I threw the K-Fun on something else, and it still didn't, it worked great right away. So I threw a dripper onto the Poldiac. No, it just not hitting. Go ahead, Big Bam. Well, Big Bam, that's not a bad idea. The problem is there's so many different levels of polycarb in tanks. You know, there are some tanks out there that 1% apple is enough to crack them, whereas the next polycarb tank can handle anything short of fluid or cinnamon. So how do we put a standard in place when the manufacturers of the tanks are not using standardized quality polycarb? I'll give you an example. My Coke bottles. I do a Coke bottles candy vape, and in it's a mixture of different things. In my testing, it is not a tank cracker. In any way, shape, or form, this is not a tank cracker juice. But yet, Kriegs gets that one from me. One of his customers filled an EVOD, and EVOD exploded. The polycarb in the EVOD literally shrapnel. It just spidered the entire thing, and poof, gone. But I tested in an EVOD here. I got a very perturbed message. You know, what's wrong? This has never happened before. What's wrong? You know, did something change? So I took the concentrate straight, pure concentrate, and filled an EVOD and let it sit here for 2 weeks. And I couldn't get it to damage one of my EVODs. So it just, maybe that one particular one was damaged right from the factory, and this just accelerated the problem. I don't know. No, they were both real EVODs. They were both from Heaven's Gifts. That wasn't a problem. My take with tank crackers is we need vapors to start, you know, demanding Pyrex from their vendors.
Mm-hmm. And you're seeing more and more of it. Like the Pro tank was a little bit at the beginning. You can get an Aero tank, which is pretty similar to an EVOD now in a Pyrex version. So it's happening.
Yeah, I'm right with you there, bud. I want the highest quality possible. And, you know, call me an elitist if you want. I like my high-end mods. I like my high-end rebuildables. That said, I still enjoy myself a clone with a $5 rebuildable cloned atomizer on top of it and just vape the ever-living fuck up. And in my world, and okay, my world is a very small place, but in my world, we don't worry about polycarb because polycarb doesn't exist. in my little vaping world, it is stainless, brass, titanium, and Pyrex. That is what I have to worry about.
Hayes asks if the Pro Tank Mini is Pyrex. Read the material, but yeah, if you've got an original Kangertech Pro Tank Mini, you're looking at Pyrex.
Yeah. And Big Bamboo, it is something I can do, because I have some juices that I know hands down are tank crackers. I could incorporate a symbol on those labels that would mark it as a known tank cracker juice. And I'm perfectly willing to do that. You know, it'll take me a month to get it fully instituted into the software, but it's something that I'd never thought of, and it's totally doable. You know, hands down, my apple cinnamon is a tank cracker. Actually, it's more like a tank melter. Oh hell, it's a bottle cracker. Like, it'll damage your storage bomb. You know, Half-Life. Don't even begin thinking about putting that one into anything other than Pyrex or stainless, because it's going straight through. Ecto, you know, 5 Alive, both of those. They're so heavy in citrus, they're going straight through a tank. Yeah, and I think we have to go with known tank cracker. And I've probably got a dozen. Out of 200 recipes, I have about a dozen that are known serious tank crackers. And I have my Russian 91. I have it set up. It is vaping. It's probably going to need an adjustment tomorrow because it's a little on the dry side for me. So I got a care package this week from Krieg's. I always need Everclear, especially for mixing down certain flavorings I get out of the States. I can't get in usable form because they won't airmail me anything with alcohol in it. And so absinthe concentrate, cola concentrate, these things comes as ultra concentrates, and you got to break them with alcohol. Well, I can't get Everclear in Saskatchewan; they don't sell it, so I get it via Alberta. Well, included in my package of Everclear, Krieg sent me his e-roll to play with because I'd said I wanted to play with an e-roll, and so. This is kind of a cutesy little thing. I'm playing with it early this morning, and Amy gets up and comes walking past, and she's standing here, we're chatting, and I hand her the stupid little thing, and here, just take a puff on this, and I'll find the juice I was running in it. I'm running Inner Sanctums, the Acarum, whatever. Jason's new juice, Inner Sanctum from Redux Vapors in it. And so I hand it to Amy. She takes one pull on it, kind of a little smile on her face, takes another pull on it. This works and it doesn't hurt my throat. And so I right away sent a message up because I was only supposed to be borrowing this and try it out. So send a message to Krieg's, what's the retail, and just get me one. And so he messaged me back, just keep it. If it's working for Amy, just keep it. So we finally have the first thing that works pain-free for Amy.
Nice. That is great.
And so what that means for anybody else out there, it's good news in our house, but what it means for everybody else out there is now that we have something that works for Amy is taking a more upfront position with DSV. So expect very shortly a white chocolate strawberry cheesecake vape coming out because that's her first demand and she's the one that's going to be doing it.
Oh, excellent. And yes, Big Bam, everything's fine. I was just listening. There was water dripping, and it turns out something in the sink is just dripping.
Ginger ale currently is a fail. I'm vaping it tonight as well, and I'll just say that currently ginger ale is a fail.
Ginger ale is ginger fail?
Yeah. I think I probably bit off more than I could chew at one shot. I should have went for the flavor and then for the sensation. But I'm pretty good at this. I'm going to do it in one shot. I'm going to do a cranberry ginger ale with fizz in one shot. I failed. The cranberry is good. Well, the ginger ale is good. Yep, welcome to the room, Harley Rider. The fizz part.
Kudos for trying.
Yeah. And okay, the flavor's good, but if you have to smell this stuff, unless you are a drunk, you're probably not going to enjoy the smell of this juice. It's got a really, really heavy liquor smell coming from the champagne flavoring, trying to create the fizz.
Thank you, Harley. This was a gift from the States. I bet you can imagine who that's from. It did help with the Halloween hijinks last night, though. But actually, Beetle, that was not my outfit. I will show you. I did take my little guy out trick-or-treating, and he was dressed in an adorable little Tigger suit that I got, and that's what I was dressed as. So that was actually the Halloween ensemble, and I kept forgetting because, you know, like in the dark you don't notice what yourself is wearing, and we'd be walking up the walk and people would be like, oh my gosh, that's just so cute, and I'm looking at my son going, yeah, he really is, and then I realized they're looking at both of us and I'm like, what, oh yeah, we're both tigers, that's right. So it was fun. But yeah, I know what you're referring to, Big Bamboo, and yeah, that was good too. It was an accident, actually. I wandered into a hangout last night just thinking I would talk to some folks and see what there was to who was up and awake, and it turns out I stumbled into a live broadcast on Nova. So yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise. It was like, really? So let me just see if I can share that with you as well, because that was funny. They asked me to do my best Vapor Joe impression. I don't know what came over me. I said, okay, give me a minute. And when I came back, that's what ensued. So
It's pretty good.
I guess I wasn't the only one, though. There was a costume party online last night, and Smithers of Nova as well even shaved his face to match. So
So Canada Post is moving in its typical fashion, because I should have had something completely fucking epic to show off tonight. It was shipped in time.
Aww.
It was shipped express. It should have been here today at the latest. In all honesty, it probably should have showed on Thursday, and it didn't. It's still showing delivery November 1st, but it's sitting in Saskatoon, so I'm not going to see it till Monday. And that is the 26650 copper mod from Joe Nuts in the UK. That's a touch sensor 26650 that will take the 26700. And I'm pretty bloody stoked about this one, especially since I forgot about it. That's the best part. I guess I spoke for it a long time ago and forgot about it. And you know, when it came due, you know, made the payment, and then, you know, I'm all excited again, but I didn't have, you know, months of waiting because I must have bought a lot of stuff that day and forgot all about this one. Not like that's ever happened before.
Well, I always say, what's better than vape mail? Vape mail you forgot about, but I guess this trumps that epic vape mail that you forgot about.
Well, and I was able to score an El Capitan copper this week. So that'll probably be Wednesday-ish next week. It'll be here.
A lot of stuff in copper all of a sudden we're seeing. There was another new one from JB. They had photographs, teaser photographs on Facebook today from VaporCon.
Well,
I don't know what that one's called, though.
It's going to carry current so well that it's going to hit amazingly well. Like, I'm guessing even a poorly built copper mechanical is going to out-hit my brass bolt head. Let alone a really
if your
well
brass
built.
gets good, this one will reach out and slap you.
Welcome, zombie. Well, Beauty and the Beast has gone international.
Indeed. It's really cool seeing our visitors from all over. I love it.
So you know how I hate sending out little packages? And Sabby has provided me with many starter kits to get into people's hands, whether either it's through here or in my face-to-face dealings with people. And so last week we had a new vapor, and so I here we go, here's your kit. Deanna brought them in, and they were using one of Deanna's starter kits. Oh shit! I'll fix it. Give me a sec here.
Piggy. They're so used to what a high-end job you always do.
I ran iTunes last week.
Zombie. We're based out of Canada. VapeStrong is a Canadian vape network, but we welcome the world, and not everyone in the room is from Canada, so you're not alone. And we have had viewers from Australia, New Zealand, India, and places I'm forgetting right now, but yes, far-flung. Welcome all.
And so when I sent the package out, it cost me the same ridiculous amount to ship a starter kit or to ship a massive package. Mm-hmm. And so I think they were expecting a few 10 mils each. And I believe that both of them got like 6 30 mils. I just started printing labels. When I got tired of printing labels, I mixed juice and sent the package. And it's one of those, here, welcome to vaping.
Yeah, you're a good guy to know for somebody starting out. I could speak from experience also.
Good evening, KP.
Hey, KP.
Well, we know CEV has hit the big time. Sabby's got a valet now.
Yeah. Harley Rider. My best advice to you is try again. Maple Leaf has been undergoing a lot of changes. They have moved and added a storefront, added equipment. They've had the irons in a lot of fires lately, so they are pretty much up to their eyeballs, and I'm sure that they've been meaning to get back to you, but just maybe hit them up again if there's something you're concerned about. Or is it something we might be able to answer? Is it just a question or
a juice you're trying to get your hands on?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a juice you're trying to get your hands on, I may be able to help.
They're mods.
What does he sell for mods?
Mm-hmm.
Which mod in general, Harley?
The torch.
I'm opening up the Insight right now.
Yeah. You're not talking about... I'm wondering if there's been some confusion. You're not talking about this, are you?
Or this?
Or
I had to clean it today. I had a leaky atomizer and I made a mess.
I've had a little bit of juice in this RSST just too long and not vaping it, and it just... It don't taste right now, so... Or something similar. Okay, well, I can help you then, definitely, because we are starting with the wrong vendor. This isn't Maple Leaf. This is JR Custom Turning. Switcher makes these hand turns, all of the customs. So, why don't we get you an accurate link here? Let's see what I can do about that.
And Leslie, it is commonly accepted that flavoring from Capella's is safe, it is diactyl free, and it is considered vape safe.
No worries, Harley. Happy to help. Oh, gave me the wrong name. You're not getting a response from JR?
You know, Leslie, when you're dealing with stupid, sometimes it's best to just tell them to fuck off and walk away from the fight. I deal with it on a daily basis on Facebook from a fair amount of people that believe they know what they're talking about. I don't believe I'm smarter than anybody else, but I've put a lot of hours into this, a lot of research, and I have some amazing friends. And I won't lie to you. I'll tell you, tell you what I can to the best of my knowledge. But there's a lot of stupid fucking people out there.
And Leslie, you say you're blue in the face. Well, I read something on Facebook that might help. It was one of the memes this week and said something. I'll probably misquote it, but I'll get the essence of it. Stop trying to explain yourself to stupid people. You are not the asshole whisperer. Oh, I think Corey's going to be using that one.
Well, as stupid as this is going to sound, I got sick of fighting on the forums. And this is going back probably a year and a half, and everybody fighting about what's the best mod, what's the strongest mod. My Pravari hits harder than your Vamo, than this, than that. Then the next thing, I said, fuck it. So I commissioned one that would end all arguments. That's where this came from. This was commissioned to end arguments on the forums, because I could post a picture of this beside a Pravari and I win. It doesn't matter what the argument is. If we're talking about mods, I win. Oh, you have a Pravari that does 3 amps. So nice for you. I do 35 watts. Oh, so you have 2,000 mod. Good for you. I get 10,000. So you can run, 1.2 ohm on your variable voltage. I can run 0.10. Like, that's how stupid fighting on the internet is. But yeah, I stooped to their level, and I had a mod built just to win those arguments.
Oh, that's not stooping to their level. That's taking it to the next level. Harley, does JR Custom Turning make mods in general, or is everything custom? His heart is in the custom work, but he does do some special things that are available on site from time to time. Everything that you'll see is eventually a limited run. Like, there will be so many, and then it's over. Well, I shouldn't speak for him. Like, who knows what the future will bring? But
you're
like,
right.
There's
You're
been a
right in
Caliber
saying
series.
that. nothing's done on a manufacturing level. It's all limited run, keep it exclusive, and move on when the market moves on. Right now it's the woodies. What's being done is woodies. They're gorgeous and they hit like a freight train.
Pixie says she sees a woody. No, you don't. It's not that kind of show.
Well, the only thing that I have to ask is it worse for me to be playing with my woody or for Hayes to be playing with her woody?
Oh, Kingpin's woody has a name.
And Harley, I've heard nothing about the Romulus.
All right. Well, I think I'm more impressed than I was last night and today. I have been messing with the Fogger V2 for the last few days. And when it arrived, I opened it all up, looked at all the pieces, checked out how it was built, and decided to just go for it with the factory build. And like that's never a really strong decision, but it was I just didn't have the time or inclination to mess with it at that moment. I really wanted to vape it, so it's like, let's just give this a shot. And I'll be honest, nowhere to lie, it was a little bit of a comedy of errors using that, and some of it was getting the flow rate, like loosening, tightening, and so forth. It seemed that I would get one, maybe two good hits, and then it was either a dry hit fiesta, and if I loosened it up, then it was flooding, and I was constantly wiping juice out of the airflow. And so, good flavor though, I will say that. Decent vape. So I got enthused before the show and I rebuilt it. I did something I've never done. So it was just stupid on all levels, because it's an atomizer I'm not familiar with yet. So let's try a build I've never done and use a wick I never use. So I've got a 0.68 micro coil going in here, of all things, and cotton wicking. And I just used cotton yarn that I've boiled and baked and the whole thing, and then put that through that micro and just juiced it up before the show and left it for half an hour to sit and hopefully soak up. And I said to Corey before the show, I said, well, we'll find out how I did. If I light this thing on fire, we'll know I did a bad job. But it is wicking. I think I'm still a little ahead of it, but we'll give the cotton time to get used to moving juice and stuff like that. I won't say anything until tomorrow. But I'm enjoying this, and it's not leaking through the airflow control anymore, so that's a good thing. And nice vapor, really nice flavor. And yeah, I know its personal is very, very, partial to the cotton wicks. So microcoil, Diana, is when instead of having space between your coils, the coils, now if I could open this up to show you, I would, but that would be a bad idea. I'd have juice all over my desk and hands. But the coils are actually touching. So you end up with more wire in the coil than you usually would to get a lower resistance, because your coils are touching. What you're doing is you're kind of deliberately shorting it out to get a lower resistance. So I was using 26 gauge Canthal, and I forget how many wraps are on there to get that now. But it's a big coil. Like, I wound it around a great big darning needle. So, but it's working out pretty good. I'm pretty impressed.
Now, what experience I've had, the micro coils work really good on a high power, variable power device. Not so good on a mechanical. On a mechanical, I get way better response from a standard coil. Now, there's going to be 30 people in chat that tell me I'm wrong, and they're entitled to their opinion. In my opinion, in my experience, as an extreme low ohm vapor, I get a far better vape on a standard coil, on a mechanical, than on a micro coil. That said, if I'm using variable power, the microcoil wins hands down every time. Whether it's on a Pravari or a Destroyer or a DNA, it doesn't seem to matter. It hits better on variable power.
Okay, good to know, because I would like to get more vapor out of this. I don't know if it's possible. I was expecting bigger clouds. Now, I've got nothing to complain about as it is, but maybe that's the issue. Maybe I got to try this on the DNA 20, see what it does, see what it thinks of that. Help me out, folks. I don't even know. Is there a minimum resistance I can put on the DNA 20? Oh, so I'm just over the line on that one. Okay.
Now, Deanna, my personal take on what would be the easiest to start rebuilding on is an iGo W rebuildable atomizer, or a Nimbus, Chimbus, something along those lines. A nice wide rebuildable with 3 posts and holes in the posts. I would not recommend an iGo L because there's no holes in the posts. It's a trickier build. It's a great atomizer, but it's a little trickier build. I would go for something with holes in the posts for the wire to slip through. So a Chimbus, Nimbus, iGo W, Cyclone, ERA, so on and so forth. But I'll tell you straight out, there's a Nimbus and there's a Cyclone. They both have holes in the posts, but this one is 10 times harder to build than this one because of how small it is. Everything has to be so tight, so precise. The Nimbus wins. It's just an easier build.
Now, Harley, you're asking, please describe DNA 20 terminology. I'm assuming you're asking what a DNA 20 is. DNA 20 is a chip that does your variable wattage for you, but the beauty of it is, you'll find most variable wattage devices max out at 15 watts, and depending what you're running on it, you're not ever really getting that because they are regulated, so there is a maximum for the power going through too. So you might turn it to 15, you might not actually be getting that. The DNA 20 goes to 20 watts. Very, very powerful, and there's no, I can't really describe the devices it's in because they can build it into whatever device they want.
I was going to say, so that's the best thing.
This is a DNA 20.
Yep. Here's a DNA 20 here.
You can get a box mod. Yeah, you can get them in a tube style. You can get all kinds of things.
And to me, that's the best thing about the DNA 20 is the customization available. That we can have them built to what we want. You've got a nice slim line there, single battery, charger built in,
yeah.
Nice little package.
Yeah.
This one's a dual 18650. It's got more longevity built into it, and it's got my graphics. Well, my graphics that you made on it.
Well, adjusted.
And I've got a heavyweight one being built in Calgary right now by Ricardo Mod. That's an aluminum body and will take 3 18650s.
Vape Freak asks, is there a rumor about a DNA 30? That is no longer a rumor. Now, I'm not going to sit here tonight and tell you it's totally confirmed, but I'm receiving word from VaporCon that yes, in fact, the DNA 30 is a go, and expect to see that in the hopefully near future.
Now, Deanna, all you need to go along with it does come with a little bit of wick and a little bit of wire, but you should get yourself a package of, I'm going to recommend 1 mil silica because it's my favorite wick. The next person's going to tell you 2 mil, 3 mil, 3.5 mil, or EcoWool or cotton. We all have our favorites. My favorite build is a juice catcher. Not recommended for your first build. But I like the 1 mil silica, and I use it. I probably have 70 drippers, and that juice catcher on a 1 mil is probably in 50 of the 70 rebuildable drippers that I have.
Harley Rider, you're asking about this mod. This is a photo. I always have to read it. I always forget. Proto Vapor is the name of the company, and it's called the XPV. This is an aluminum single 18650, and it's all built in. But the bottom is removable. You'll see the screws there. If it'll focus, you'll see the screws. There we go. There we go. And so if that battery ever does get tired, it's as easy as removing that bottom. I can replace that cell. But it does charge just with a micro USB. Lightweight, made of aluminum, and I'm really enjoying this. I haven't even put anything rebuildable on it or really taxed the capabilities of this thing. I've been vaping an EVOD on it most of the time, and it's blown me away what it can make the EVOD do. So really versatile, nice device, and it's kind of taken over the poor MVP for my go-to carry with when I leave the house.
And see, I want to love the DNA 20. I really do. But it's not quite 2/3 of the way there for me. The DNA 30 is going to open up some options for me, but really I'm looking for a DNA 40 or a DNA 50.
Well, I've been hearing noises about the DNA 40 too, so you might be in luck. Hang in there. Size of battery in this one is 18650, Harley.
And now speaking, Chess is talking about rebuilds. I've got something to show off. So let's see if I can get this operating here. Just bear with me for a second while I drop some screens and load some other ones. Come on, you can get that bloody camera. It was working just a minute ago. It's going to make a liar out of me is what it's going to do. There's more than one way to do this. I got busy this week, and I mounted another camera onto my ceiling, and so I actually have a real work surface here to be able to do rebuilds on during the shows.
Sweet. Love it. That's right, Diana, Rebuilding 101. This is how I learned, asking tons of questions in his other shows and making him build stuff.
Now, well, if you want me to rebuild something, Leslie, you just gotta tell me what. I'm not gonna say I have everything, but close.
Oh, Hayes has a request.
Okay.
Beetle, you can rebuild a coil on a Pro Tank. The question I have is, why would you? When the coil heads are so cheap for them, my feeling is if I want as that good of a rebuild, then I'm going to start with a rebuildable. I'm not going to worry about a Pro Tank. Now, I realize that's a totally subjective statement. There's people who do it, but to me, it's too fiddly a project to warrant the time.
And I'm right with you. And a juice catcher build is silica up and tied. It ends up looking like a rose bowl.
Well, if you forgive me that this one looks kind of nasty and burnt, I've still got the last ribbon build I pulled out of the Immortalizer clone to give you an idea. That's that's highly unfocused. Let's put this in pliers so my hand's not in the way, and I'll show you what a nice used juice catcher looks like. There we go. So you got that nice grungy coil down there, and the wicks are all, come on, you were focused, do it again. I gotta hold still, there we go. And then the ends of the wicks, the loops, are all tied up above so that it gravity feeds.
Well, I can do a quad coil, though I'm going to ask why, because they don't produce near as well as a single coil does. And I don't have a W4. I've got several, straight up iGo Ws. I find the best build on an iGo W is an inline dual. Be it juice catcher or non-juice catcher, that seems to be the most productive build. And it's easy.
Now, I have
do
a
one
question.
Here in just a minute.
The inline duals. Help me understand. The more wraps you've got on a coil, and basically what you're doing is you're creating one great big long coil and kind of splitting it in two, if I'm getting you right.
Well,
doesn't that take forever to heat up to fire?
It does if you have it on a shitty mod. If you have it on something brass or silver, something that hits hard with good batteries, it's fast.
Okay.
But now you did touch on something. The single coil is always going to heat faster than a dual coil. Even at the same watts, same volts, it's gonna heat better. And so what we're doing, how I do an inline dual, is on something that's got the 3 posts with center being your hot. So I'm running, basically it's a coil, negative to positive, and then another coil, positive to the next negative. It's the simplest way I know to do a dual. And we'll do one here in just a moment. As soon as I find where my better half put all my 1 mil silicone.
Now, Vape Freak, that makes sense to me, I guess. You're rebuilding them, but you're rebuilding them the way that you've customized that vape. You obviously really like the device. You like the Pro Tank. You're customizing that vape. You're doing something that you can't get prefab. So, yeah, more power to you.
And when I'm doing the long coil, I still put my air hole directly in the center of it. It'd be better for me to put the device into the drill, into the drill press, and put a couple extra holes in it. I just haven't went there yet. I can't even explain why I didn't, because it would only take me a couple minutes to do it.
And my answer to the quad coil question is simply, I'm too damn lazy. I love rebuilding. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to try some new things. But when you come right down to it, I like to keep it simple. If single coils are creating great vapor, great taste, I'm kind of like, don't fix what ain't broke.
Well, see, I'm good with putting the time in, especially if I can do it and prove a point. But at the end of the day, the build that's going to last is the one that vapes the best for me. And if I'm not happy with it, it's getting tore out, regardless how much work it was, and getting redone to be something that I enjoy vaping. Because it doesn't matter to me how fancy a device is, or how pretty, or any of that. It has to vape. And yes, Dawn, I do drill out one of my iGo W holes. I don't drill out the one on the back side. I drill out the one on the face, because I always do my coils on the same side. So we're going to set up here.
No, Lika, I have not tried the XC 116. Just regular silica, high quality, nice silica that I use, and a lot of mesh. I do a lot of Jenny builds. I've dabbled with cotton. This fogger build is the first time I've used cotton in a long time, to be honest. I usually don't because I love builds I can torch clean, and cotton it's unadvisable to do that.
The gentle understatement.
Do I plan on trying it, Lika? Well, I'm not overly excited to try it, to be really honest. And I'll tell you why. There are concerns with it. It has to be treated properly. And I'm a little bit, I'll admit it, I'm a little bit anal retentive about it, in that if I don't have a kiln and I can't fire it myself, I'm not that excited about it. I want to know that it was done to specification, because if it wasn't, it would take a really special torch, and I'm not even sure if there is a torch really that could achieve what a kiln does. And if it's not treated properly, if you don't get it to that proper heat for a sustained time, it's not necessarily safe to use. There's a reason they didn't want it sold to vape shops and stuff like that. So if you trust your source, if you know where you're getting it, if you know it's been handled properly and prepared properly for you, hey, more power to you. But again, it comes down to silica's working for me. I'm not looking for something better. If I wasn't getting a decent vape, then yeah.
I played with it, and I like my 1 mil silica. And it comes down to you stay with what works for you. And this build and this silica works for me. It's never let me down yet.
Now, you'd be the guy to ask, because you're so much better with the details than I am. I have a memory like a sieve. What temperature does the XC have to get to? Can you achieve it with any torch, like something really hot? I know I can't do it with my propane.
Off the top of my head, I can't give you a number. I'd have to open up the files again.
Okay, fair enough.
But I thought it was in that 1400 range.
Yeah, so you're talking about a reasonably high fire even, because,
Now, I could be wrong. I could be higher than it's supposed to be. Somebody in the room is going to know the right number, or have Google open in front of them and be able to pull that up for us. Chess, that's you. I'm talking about you, Chess. Fire up Google, get it done, buddy.
Just in case you're wondering. My mom does porcelain work. She's got kilns back in Alberta. If I get curious enough about the stuff, I'll order some in. I'll source some. I'll get some somewhere, and I'll send it to her. Tell her to run it through pretty much a firing that is above even that rating, and send it back to me, and we'll see. But it's not high on my to-do list.
The stuff that I was sent was supposed to be pre-killed, and what I did with it is I got that flamethrower torch, and so I held the stuff up in a vice grip, and then went to that flamethrower torch, and I took it to a bright cherry red and held it there for probably about 5 minutes, and just cooked the ever-living hell out of it. And so I don't know if that's the safe temperature or not, but it was hot, and it totally changed the dynamic of the wick after doing it.
Navcom asks, what's better, high-res coil or low-res coil? Well, Navcom, there is no better. It totally depends what you're putting that coil on, what's driving it, and what you enjoy the device you're using. You will... You'll typically find that the higher resistance coils you're going to be using on a variable device. Okay, if you're using something in the 2.5, 2.8 range, you're looking for something that's got the higher volts.
Now, my take on it is, if you are going to be running a variable power device, don't bother with low res. Get yourself standard or high res consumables, or build standard or high res. And so that's going to be 2 ohm or higher, and then make use of the electronics at your disposal to get the vape to where you want it to be. And you're going to thank yourself for doing it, because the higher ohm consumables last long. You know, you will get more mils vaping on a 2.5 ohm disposable atomizer than you will on a 1.5 ohm disposable atomizer. And you'll get a better quality vape as far as I'm concerned. And I've got no empirical evidence of that, just experience. You know, my before rebuildable, my vape of choice was a 2.5 ohm Joytech 510 atomizer inside of a drip catcher, whatever you want to call it, and on a high power variable voltage device, so I could get my 20 watts that I wanted. But the atomizers lasted better for me than if I was running lower revs and just turning the voltage down a little bit further.
Yeah. They're saying it's a little hard to see what you're doing there. You're out of the camera range.
I've got to move a lens. I've got to move a monitor so I can see what I'm doing. But
okay.
There's the dual coil. Now, without it being fired, that is what it's running at right now.
Little lower cord. There we go. Nice.
So I expect that after this fires, it's going to go to about 0.47. It is my guess. So I've got a brass Kodiak here or brass Chiyu, to fire it on. Just adjust the setting.
And KP, just in case you're interested, is saying for the XC116, 3M recommends 1650 degrees for 12 hours. Now that is a long fire. I am not going to BS you. My mom has done porcelain fires for years. That's 2200 degrees Fahrenheit. And 12 hours is a really long firing. So that's not messing around. Nice. Look at her glow.
So there's not a whole lot of hesitation there. It fires pretty quick. Now we'll find out in a moment here if that resistance moved at all.
Hayes, to tie the silica up into the juice catcher, just use a little scrap of wire. I've stopped throwing out those little tails that you always cut off, because they come in real handy to secure that.
Yep, that's all I'm doing.
And you saw Corey twisting it like a twist tie? I don't even do that. I curl it into a little U shape and I just clamp it around, and then with the pliers I just clamp it, because I found that twisting it was just too awkward for me. So there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Okay, so this stayed at 0.34. So that means it's going to be too low powered. It's going to draw too much current to be on a standard 18650 device. So we're going to switch over and we're going to put it on to the custom torch with a 26700. Safe for 40 amps. And then we shouldn't have any safety issues with firing this thing.
Good to know, Big Bound. Thanks for the pictures. Asp, I'm maybe lacking some imagination tonight. I'm not sure what you would use to tie up the loose wick ends that would be non-conductive that you could trust for the heat. I mean, you obviously wouldn't want to use a piece of thread or something like that. All the wire I'm aware of is conductive. To try and use another piece of silica, the silica is so slippery, it's just not, it doesn't lend itself well to tying. So I'm not worried about the wire. It's up out of the way,
Yeah,
out of
it's
the coil.
totally out of the way.
There's no reason it should ever touch anything that's carrying current. So
I've never had an issue with it. That's not saying that someday I won't have one. But that's it. I've been doing this build for over a year, and I have this build in over 50 different drippers right now.
Leslie, I feel your pain. Everybody at VaporCon, you're so close by and unable to attend. I'm nowhere near close by, but... ASP, I would highly recommend against using dental floss. I don't believe that dental floss is a natural fiber. I think it is a synthetic. You run the risk, especially in a dripper build, of having something melting, letting off chemicals and fumes that you don't know what you're getting. I highly recommend against that.
Well, I'm going to say I am a fan of this dripper at 0.35 of an ohm. Now, now Big Bamboo, I've got a couple of Jenny ones. Part of the idea of setting the table up and getting the new camera mounted and getting new lights ordered is that I'm going to be able to shoot proper tutorials. I did go and buy a video camera as well so that I can have Amy record me doing the build, so I don't have to try to work underneath the camera. She can keep me in frame.
I am just getting you a link for that. Bear with me a moment. Oh, if I don't grab the wrong window.
Well, here's the thing. I would not recommend this ohm build on anything smaller than a 26700 battery. That's my personal take on it, because you know we buy the 30 amp IMR 18650s. It is what it is. You know, do I want to push them that hard? Personally, my cutoff for my feeling safe vaping it on an 18650, regardless of how good it is 0.5. Below 0.5, I switch over to one of my heavyweight devices, and I run a 26700 Molly cell that has 40 amps of available power.
Smart. Better safe. Now, I've dropped a link in the room for Corey's YouTube channel where you will find what he has available up there. As well, the shows on Fridays and Saturday nights are chock full of good information. If you ever want to see a rerun of one of our shows on VapeStrong, there's the link for our archives on YouTube.
And Baston, what I got for the camera I mounted up on the wall, it is a Microsoft Studio HD 1080. And like what I do the show on is a C920 Logitech HD Pro. What I got for a video camera is a cheap one. JVC or I don't. It was cheap, but it does the job. It takes a decent enough picture. I just wouldn't want to try to do a wedding video with it. It doesn't have good enough quality. But for up close and what we're doing, it does a good enough job. And when I finally suck it up and buy my main DSLR that'll do video, that's what we'll be doing videos with.
That'll be great. Asp, I can't let that one go. You're now telling us you want to use your own hair to tie those ends up. I don't know if you've ever smelled burning hair, but I'm telling you right now, I don't want to vape it. I recommend you don't as well.
And I'm gonna step in for a moment there. As long as you are willing to vape it for the first time on camera, you go right ahead and you use that to tie those wicks up.
There we go. We just want to see the reel on that one.
Yeah, I want to see it. That's it.
A nice close up on that reaction face too. We're gonna need that. Have a bucket nearby. Oh, now that's dedication. Asp says they'll vape their own hair for free DSV juice. Well, I gotta say, at least you have good taste in juice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could swing a 120 if I could get that, on a loadable format so that I can use it on a show. Hayes, that's just going too far. That's going way too far.
Now, Z28, it's so nice to see you, but I'm going to have to ask you to refrain. Corey doesn't like people referring to him that way. That's reserved for his wife only. I don't know if you noticed. Z28 came in and says, "Hello, sexy."
I lost my vape.
Uh-oh. Lost in the sauce? Welcome back, Victoria Dawn.
Well, that definitely is a warm vape. Once I get the atomizer a little drier, I'll pull the cap and test it across the coil and see what the drop off is on it.
Oh, so underwhelmed. I gotta put this on something else. It is letting me down.
Time for a Jenny.
Oh, seriously. No, it is a Jenny, but I've got it on that clone I was telling you about. the one that shouldn't be allowed to bear the name. Just not cool.
Now, did you get your titanium vape mail from the States yet?
No, it was rather ambitious to hope that it would be here end of this week. I had my fingers crossed, but it didn't make it today. So early next week, there should be something really special showing up from the southern states. Can't wait.
Now, Diana, I can describe to you what Smurfalicious is. Personally, what I would recommend you doing, though, is just put it in something and vape it.
Just vape it. Big. Oh, who's asking? Harley Rider, you're asking about the great big long drip tips with the curve in them. You have options now. The originals come from Captivate in the States, and I will get you a link for they've come out with collectible replicas of those now too. So let me grab that for you.
And Big Bamboo, I know there were some that didn't get through. Be it they got lost by Canada Post or whatever happens. And I did not do a reship yet. So I will write you down here in my reship list. You're in the book, and I'll get the reships done this week.
Yeah, I had just put the link in, Leslie. Thank you very much. That's better. That's what I expect from this atomizer. Hey, at least they'll find it now. No worries.
Asbestos, you have me on Facebook. Send me a note on Facebook as well as an address. I don't even have emails from that long ago. So that's the only way for me to get that one caught up. No, I'll still have, if it was in October, I'll still have it, Big Ben. No, right address. Oh, no, wrong address.
No, that is the wrong address. Are you doing it, or shall I? Okay. There we go.
No O.
Oh, the Kraken looks beautiful, Curly, and after Corey's assessment of it, I'm really excited about that one too. If it vapes half as good as it looks.
It vapes a hell of a lot better than it looks.
Oh boy, that's well, you know.
I don't have the VTR yet, Harley.
experience-
Hopefully within the next few days, because I think it shipped last Monday. And typically anything coming from Joe moves pretty quick. Give me a sec here. I'll go back and check my tracking.
I've got one in hand, Harley. I love it. It's heavy, it's well built, it's hard hitting. The battery lasts forever. It seems in it, and that's probably got to do with how I'm setting it, because it is just an 18650 in there. It's probably just because of the device I'm using on it. I'm using the iClear 30S that comes with, and I'm loving the vape off of that combination. It's great. I've got the last of my blue honey in here, and I'm rationing it, so. Will they ever make them in different finishes? Well, as a matter of fact, they have. There is sort of a green tint coming out, and I'm not sure if they're available already or if they're just teasing us with that picture, but there is something coming. So if they've started there, there's hope that you can look for other ones as well. But we'll keep you posted.
So my package from Joe, which has the VTR in it, cleared Canadian Customs at 10:57 this morning. So probably Tuesday-ish, I'll have the VTR.
Okay. Good. I think you're gonna like that one. It's a really solid, well thought out. I mean, just the little details. The ability to clock that atomizer just impresses me no end. It's such a simple little feature, but I love that.
Well, see, I'm excited because I'm going to have a permanent home for my Cobra again. My Cobra's been flowing from device to device, and now it's going to have a permanent home again, because that's what's going on there for me is my 5mm Cobra.
Yeah, that'll be ideal. Fit down in that cage.
Set her at 15 watts and just forget it. but I believe our hams are shipping out next week. So I don't know who else got in on that, but I know myself and KP are both, waiting on the hams to come in.
Cool. Those look beautiful. I've been seeing pictures of them coming out of VaporCon. That's a no-nonsense device.
And so I put something into Skype today for Vash to start doing some designing, because I'm gonna need a custom drip tip for that thing. It's too big for a standard drip tip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not really excited about a Pure, and I'll explain why. Like, I've had an iHybrid Red Dragon, great device, hits great, works great, but when it comes to a hybrid, quite honestly, I want something a little more exclusive than a Pure. If you're just looking for outright vape quality, the Pure is going to be great. It's going to give you a hell of a vape at a bargain price. But for myself as a collector, am I going to go chasing after one? Probably not. Now, if one presents itself for the right trade, I'm going to snap it up. I don't know, I look at what's sitting in front of me just tonight, and I don't know, like, does just another, seemingly mass-produced device belong in the mix? When you got, Woody and, the two-pole DX, and the brass Templar, the one-of-a-kind torch, the brass Nemi there, and brass turtle ship, and the Paps Lux, the one-of-a-kind destroyer, and my
oh, beautiful. Oh, sorry.
My desires, vape-wise, have got a little more exclusive and a little more costly.
Big Bamboo just shared that the green VTR is already in pre-order, so if you're looking for one of those, there's a link in the room. Well, Diana, that's what we were saying. They started, of course, with the one we're accustomed to seeing, the darker chrome, and now they've brought out green. I have a hard time believing they'll stop there, but what they'll go to next, I have no idea.
I really, really don't want a pink one.
Oh, Corey, come on, you're a secure guy. You could rock a pink one.
What are you gonna do? Take one of my brass mods and paint it pink, though?
Oh no, we won't paint it. You've got much too high-end a collection for that. We'll have to find out what chemical combination will patina it pink.
I don't know, I got a real brass fetish going lately. Everything I'm buying is either brass or copper.
Well, it's catching. You being my guru, it seems that everything you do kind of eventually filters down. So the last few things I've been looking at, drilling over, have been brass as well. So we'll see. We'll see.
The Russian's pretty good, Harley. I just built mine today for the first time. There, I got it on a brass turtle ship there. Nope. Z20. I didn't see any of the pictures from VaporCon yet. I spammed Facebook and then I shut it today.
There are just too many times that people have tried to look inside of me, wondering what I think of you and I protect you out of courtesy. Too many times that I've held on when I needed to push away, afraid to say.
Now, Deanna, if I was to make a recommendation, knowing what you have and where you're at and what you're vaping, my personal recommendation of what should be looked at next is going to be a Pravari.
And that's something that will be a staple. I very much doubt you'll find that you get tired of that or want to trade it. It's just one of those devices that's kind of, it's a benchmark device, and it just always belongs in your collection. What makes it better, Leslie? Well, build quality for starters. They are built like a tank. They're one of the few things I hear stories pretty much every week about. It hit the concrete, it came off the desk, it fell out of the car, and they just keep vaping. As well, the quality, the innards, the regulation, and knowing that you're getting what you've set it for. Corey, you want to jump in here? You know more about it than I do.
Well, I love my Pravari, and I'm one of those people. I've had it bounce off the concrete. I've had it bounce off the pavement. I had it fall out of my pocket while we were climbing Grouse Mountain this summer, and took some nasty bounces and landed in the dirt. I picked it up, blew the dirt off it, cleaned the tip out of the pro tank that was on top of it, and vaped it. It's as far as tough goes, the Pravari is king.
And yeah, Harley touches on the safety error code built in. It's kind of and like, I'm not calling anyone an idiot, but it's almost an idiot-proof device. It won't let you fire anything you shouldn't.
And Leslie, I'm not going to tell you that you should park your SVD and buy a Pravari. I have an SVD. I love the thing. But if a person's looking for the next variable power device, my recommendation is going to be for a Pravari. If you already got the VAMO and so on and so forth, my next recommendation is going to be the Pravari, because it's the high point. I don't see a point in buying several of the very similar devices. I just buy the top, be done with it. And I have to say, I am very happy with the 134. It's an amazing little device. It's a monster. And I wouldn't say the SVD is entry level, Leslie. The SVD is a solid device. It's a good performer, and it's got a solid reputation of being a well-built, strong device. It can take a beating and keep on working. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's a home run device for what you're paying for.
Now, Big Bamboo, you were saying about the green BTR. Yeah, it's possible. They've got them. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of things look great on the
there's-
134.
There's my 134 Pro Tank 2 and Stiletto Drip Tip. Now I'm out of juice on this thing, so I gotta fill it up.
And
These
mine's
are
got the
really-
K2.
Really solid device.
Good. Mine's got the K2 sitting on it, which is essentially a Pro Tank style atomizer, clearmizer. No, it's not making contact.
Asbestos, are you a non-mod person? Are you still vaping in Ego? Well, you're getting a package from me this week. So, do you need batteries? Do you need 350s? Or are you ready to step up to something bigger? I'm gonna have to do a little bit of digging to find where it went, but I got a box full of giveaway mods here, bud, that can be included in any shipment I send out. But I've got some Bogwa clones sitting here, brand new, never been used. But if you want one, I'll send you a Bogwa and the batteries for it, as well as you get a charger. And you can give that Ego a break. Yeah, the Bogwa was
The
a
tank you were
mechanical.
asking. This is not the RG. This is an older one that came out first. This is called the K2. And I will get you a link.
Yeah, asbestos. I'll send you a telescopic mechanical and a pair of 18 650s and a pair of 18 350s. Welcome, State of Zen. Now, I'm going to ask,
Oh,
do you prefer a bottom button or a pinky button? So I got a brand new Electric Angel clone sitting here. Now this is a GG style bottom button. This one is tested. This one works great. And then I've got a pile of bottom button ones. Everything from brass sentinels to I got a stack of Bogwas here. This is gonna bother me till I find them. I may have to get the better half to find them tomorrow, because she's the one that probably put them away.
Hid them from you. Oh, Diana, that's great. Horizon enjoying her EVOD kit. That's good. Love to hear that. Well, Bastard, that's why, I put off tidying up my desk. I love when everything is organized and I've got tons of desk space and I can see the surface of my desk and all that. But the trouble then is I can't find a damn thing.
I'm driving black on black. Just got my license back. I've got this feeling in my face. This train is coming off the track. Alas,
Okay, so we got a few options here.
And Tippy, I would second that sentiment. I've used CE4s and EVODs. As a matter of fact, I've got one of each on the go right now. And in my opinion, the EVOD outperforms. I'm a big believer in the bottom coils now. Gravity's working for you instead of against you. And I tend to get better vapor, better flavor off my bottom coils.
So, asbestos, whatever, we can go with a brass M16. Or a two-tone M1 Sentinel. Or the private V2. Now this is the one with the copper switch on it. So you tell me which one. They're all telescopic. They all will run anything from an 18350 to an 18650.
we're parked out by the tracks. We're sitting in the back and we just started getting busy when she whispered, "What was that? The wind?" I think 'cause no one else knows where we are, and that was when she started screaming, "That's my dad outside the car! Oh please, the keys, they're not in the ignition. Must have wound up on the floor while we were switching up positions. I guess they knew that she was missing."
Nope. This one's a stainless head, and that one's solid brass. These are the nicest looking, and these hit the best. Done deal. And I will say about those aluminum heads that everybody hates, if everybody would stop cross-threading their atomizers, they wouldn't hate those heads anymore.
Oh, do I need to do my little demo again? Corey and I talked about this one night, and it turns out, I just naturally do what he was saying in the first place, and that is, when you've got the aluminum head, I've had this forever, I've been using it, I have no problems. The reason is, I don't cross-thread it. When you're starting it, set your atomizer on top, turn it the wrong way first. You're going to get to a point where you can hear and feel it click in, the threads lock together. and I'm not. There we go. And if I'd been closer to my mic, you would have heard that little click. When you hear that click, start going forward. Use a light touch on your atomizer. As soon as it starts to spin in your fingers, you're done. Don't over tighten. Don't cross thread. You'll never have a problem with your aluminum head. I made a rhyme.
Now, I just remembered something. My aunt messaged me on Facebook, and I talked to you before the show about doing the switch and doing the show next Saturday. I got to make another switch. I won't be broadcasting next week.
Okay.
It's my grandparents' 60th wedding anniversary.
Oh, how
And
nice.
I forgot.
What a huge milestone.
I forgot all about that. And we got to do a family thing in Spalding on both Saturday and Sunday. So I am totally out of commission next week.
Alrighty. Well, that's an excellent reason to take a day off. Congratulations to them. Well, Diana, watch the VapeStrong Facebook group for announcements, but I'm not sure what the rest of the Saturday crew will decide to do. The Vape Night in Canada team, we'll be in touch with them.
Well, the Saturday
for Friday
crew next week is all at Vape.
Oh, that's right. That's what we discussed. That's why. Okay. Yes, there we go. So, well, we'll see if there's going to be something to fill in. I'm not prepared to say now. We're flying by the seat of the pants. But on Friday, there is a strong chance I'll work something out. Either we'll have a guest or we'll go solo. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, and see, Saturday, if somebody's doing something, I can try to join from my phone for a while. But Friday, I'm at work for the night, and nobody wants me signing in from that welding shop. All you're going to hear is bang.
Alrighty. Well, you can always sign in silent, and we hold up little notes and do sign language, or just wave so we know you're there.
Well, I'll tell you what I know about Mamu Mods Harley. They're exclusive, they're beautiful, and I can't get one. I tried for about 6 months to get one. I gave up. If you can get one, get one. It'll always hold its value. She does amazing work.
Well, that would be a lot of fun. We'll look at what we can do next weekend to make that happen.
Now, Leslie, I'm going to say that it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's you just don't like it. Certain atomizers, certain tanks, and me don't get along. I get a taste off them that other people don't. Some stuff I really like, others dislike. I love the vape only tanks. That they worked phenomenally well for me, whereas others couldn't say a good word about them. And like it's personal saying, have someone else try one, see if they taste the same thing. You know, you could be buying from a vendor that got a bad batch of coils. You know, you might have something on the coil. I don't know. When it comes to a tank system that I'm going to call non-rebuildable, the Pro Tank 2 wins for me. It's my absolute favorite. I get good flavor, good vapor. I don't have to put a lot of power to it.
But am I correct, Corey? Is it true that you prefer the mini to the full size?
I do. The mini on an e-VOD battery or e-cig battery is a phenomenal vape. For just a pocket vape, I don't know if you can get a better quality vape than a Pro Tank Mini on a good Ego style battery. So they're really good.
Whoa, throwing things.
You know, a lot of people are having extremely good luck with the e-VODs. You know, I've got them here. I really haven't put any time into them. But I have to say, like, I do keep several Pro Tanks in the rotation. Like, I'm a guy that claims to be 100% rebuildable, 100% DIY. And I do keep several Pro Tanks in my day-to-day rotation because they're simple. They don't fail, and they're a grab-and-go device. I throw that on a Pravari in my pocket, one spare battery, one spare head, and a 30 ml bottle of juice, and I'm covered. Asbestos, all my juice, all my personal stuff is at 6 milligram, and I am running it at 10 watts. Regardless of what head is in it, I run the Pro Tank at 10 watts. If it's on a Pravari, I'm running, I believe the heads I have in it right now are 2.4s, and I'm running them at 4.5 volts. And right now,
I haven't tried it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, in the small format of the e-VOD, and you know, in that family, other than the Pro Tank Mini, I would say the e-VOD is probably the best thing in that size range. To me, the Pro Tank Mini still kicks the shit out of the e-VOD, but that's me. You know, the next person's going to have better luck on the e-VOD.
And there is another option available now. I haven't had a chance to try one yet, but I'm hearing that the Aero tanks are just excellent as well, and available in Pyrex. So that's a nice, but it's that same style of atomizer, claramizer.
Are you running an Ego style battery, Tippy? No, you need an adapter probably to get it onto your Vamo DAT. Oh, Tippy. Would you be so... I'll do it. Okay, Tippy, I need an email to that email address there, CoreyRutan@gmail.com. That's my personal one. I'm going to need screen name, real name, shipping information, and your desired NIC level. And you're not going to have to worry about whether an EVOD is going to work on the battery you have, because I'm going to send you an EVOD starter kit. As well as a welcome to the community DSV gift pack.
And that's a really nice welcome. No question.
Well, Big Man Boob, I give away a ton of juice. And the kits, they're coming through me, but they're not from me. The kits are compliments of CEV Store. No, I still got the kits you sent me, Sabby. I got a box full of kits. Sabby hooked me up large. Let's just leave it at that. Sabby hooked me up large with starter kits. And I've got some really nice gear for people that show up and are deserving of it.
Yes, Jess, CEV and DSV are awesome dudes. No question. And I would second that as well, Beetle. The whole friggin' community is awesome.
Well, the thing is, we didn't have a community that had the same mindset as what we had. And you know, the originals, yourself, me, Cats, Sabby, you know, that's the originals of VapeStrong. And so we built the community that had the same mindset. Now everybody involved has that mindset. Community first, business second. You know, it's not a handout, it's a hand up. Because
and
I give something to someone, in turn, maybe they pass their starter gear onto someone else. That's one more person being brought into the community, and it just snowballs. Random acts of vape.
And you asked a little while back, Big Bam, how do you make money? Well, I firmly believe, and you know, don't ask me to quote lots. I have a terrible memory about details, but I've read a little bit about Andrew Carnegie, who is a very, very, very successful person in America, and he treated everyone within his organizations with great respect and concern, and he was really, really good to people. He never used anybody I'm aware of on the way up, and I think when you operate with that mentality, you can't help but be successful, and I see that in this community as well, that the people who are concerned about others just rise to the top. The cream rises to the top. Corey, does PBJ come in 1 liter size for Diana?
I do not mix PBJ. That is 100% CBD.
Oh, okay, there we go.
And I've said it before.
Fabio leaves some special bottles for her.
I don't like that juice. It's not my cup of tea. And so she's gonna have to rely on Savvy for that one.
Well, I'll admit it's not in my daily rotation either. But every time I do have a taste of it, my head always spins. It's like you just really nailed it.
Yeah, I'm in Bruno,
And
Saskatchewan,
Chef,
Canada, Harley. Right in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Canada. To
and
put it as
Chess just
politically
shared one of
correct
my
as possible.
favorites. The Blueberry Blizzard just rocks.
I told you, Curly. I've vaped every Jenny there is, other than a Hellfire, as far as I know. And the Kraken kicks the shit out of all of them. It is the best Jenny I've ever laid my hands on.
And that's the thing. When you, with all of your experience with different devices and so forth, have that to say about something, that's a
And it's not that it comes
that's
with
a heck of a.
it's not that it has a big air hole. It's an adjustable air hole. So if you want it to be a tight draw, you just turn the top cap. It's a tight draw. If you want it loose, turn the top cap. It's a loose draw. It's a win-win. There's no modification needed. I remember well Eva talking about, making fun of me for these high-end purchases. And, the Cobra, it's great, and it was perfect as soon as, I drilled this or did that. With the Kraken, there's no drilling, no sanding, no modifying. It is perfect. As close as I've seen to perfect, there's nothing on it that I would modify in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it depends where in Canada you are, State of Zen, but I do live in Canada, and there's parts of it I do freeze. West Coast, Leslie. West Coast, where it's at.
Now, my air holes all depend on the chamber size of the atomizer or Jenny that I'm running. But we're usually in and around 1/8 of an inch. That's anywhere from 3/32 to 1/8 inch is where I'm happiest. Oh, if you're looking for my sizes in millimeters, I'm sorry. Quality drill bit sets don't come in metric.
Oh, no, not 3/8. 3/8 would be ridiculously large.
Yeah, that'd be too big even for me. That's huge.
That's bigger than a 1/4 inch. There are atomizers, you just have to cut half of it off to achieve that.
We're looking at like 2 to 3 millimeter air holes. I think the Kraken was 170 or 180 curly. I know I paid the $70 down payment on it when we signed up on the list, but the remainder payment I traded juice for it. So I think KP and I had this discussion last week, and they were in between 160, 170, 180, somewhere in there.
Oh, State of Zen, I'm sorry to hear that you had that experience. I think you must have just been talking to the wrong people. We have so much cross-border traffic here that we're used to that. Asp says people in Vancouver don't like anyone, so don't take it personally.
But
Well,
here's the kicker. Other than accent, you can't tell the difference between a Canadian or an American if you're in Canada. Because nobody's allowed to have a sidearm in Canada, so you can't tell the difference. You know, quite honestly,
State of Zen, you found the...
we're all the same. North American, pretty much all the same.
Yeah. And you found the folks in Toronto more friendly than out here. I am so amazed. I've actually had the opposite experience, but I'm sorry you had that.
Well, come to Saskatchewan next time, State of Zen. We'll treat you right. That's the thing about being from the prairies. If people take the time out of their busy lives to come to our little out-of-the-way places, we take care of them. And yeah, Harley, I'll ship fluid worldwide. I don't care.
Calgary's nice, State of Zen. That's actually my original hometown. And it's a beautiful city. It's been too many years since I've been back.
Well, I couldn't imagine living anywhere other than in rural Saskatchewan. Life's the right speed. If life was any faster, I'd have to go on permanent vacation because I can't keep up as it is now.
And Jason, you'll trade me? Not a chance. It took me 25 years to get out here. I fell in love with this place long before I arrived. Now I'm here. I'm not leaving. I love my mountains. Savvy. You're too kind. I'm not in Vancouver, State of Zen. I'm actually a little farther inland in the Fraser Valley, but yeah, essentially. I'm in the outskirts. Well, we shall see, Leslie.
I don't know. New Jersey, Lower Mainland. New Jersey, Lower Mainland. Lower Mainland's gotta win. It's just gotta win.
It's winning.
You know, I'm a prairie boy right to my core, but I really enjoyed our time at the coast this year, and we're trying to figure out the math to make sure it's something that happens every year.
Oh, good, because I'm gonna like go out to the highway next time and flag you down.
Well, no
You're
more
not
trying
getting
to
by me
cram.
again.
No more trying to cram everything into 5 days.
Yeah. Well,
Quite
and
honestly-
hopefully next time you're back, I'll have wheels, so it's not so.
We
limited.
were there for a total of 10 days between my brother's wedding and the coast and the travel. We got rain twice in the mountains. Other than that, there wasn't a drop of rain the entire time. We just fucking cooked. Because I learned something I never knew. Air conditioning ends at the Alberta-BC border. Once you cross into
pretty
BC,
much.
they don't know what air conditioning is. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like 34 degrees, and I'm in a business and they have the doors open.
Mhm.
Like, and you say that I live in the sticks? Really? Like, our garages are air conditioned. Yeah, I'm in the middle of Saskatchewan.
Here.
I'm in the middle of Canada's end. I'm
You know,
landlocked.
Beetle, I thought that. I thought that too, Beetle's complaining about the rain for 6 months. I thought that would get to me, but the trade-off is I don't have to shovel mountains of snow the way I did in Edmonton. So suddenly the rain just does not seem that bad. I remember
last year we started a new policy with snow. No shoveling. You just go out after a snow, you go out with the big boots on and stomp it down. And the sidewalk just keeps getting higher throughout the winter, but it worked. I didn't shovel other than to clear the back door once last year.
Didn't that make a mess in the spring? Because I lived in an apartment complex once where they did that, and it was a year when we got a lot of snow in Edmonton, and they did that, and then it would melt a little bit, and there was a slope to it, and you could really go for a skate. But the interesting part was in the spring when it all started to melt, the lawn was bare, and the sidewalk was built up a good 16 inches of this hard pack that just wouldn't melt.
When it starts melting, you cheat. You take out the garden hose and hit it with the sprinkler. And the snow's just gone. In a couple of hours, the snow's gone. In the spring, everybody else is complaining about snow in their yard. Not me, I got the sprinkler set up.
Alrighty, well, I wish I'd have thought of that.
Farm boy ingenuity. There is a solution to every problem. We were too poor to have the box. You know, everybody talks about this thinking outside the box. We were dirt poor growing up. We didn't have the money to have the box. So all thinking was done outside of it.
50 year-round, Leslie. No, not in Canada. You're going to get at least close to freezing pretty much everywhere at some point or another. It's pretty mild where I am, but we will see a few days where it gets below zero.
And see, like we have a perfect climate in Saskatchewan. No matter what you like, you will get at least one day of that temperature throughout the course of a year.
You get the scorchers and the absolutely sub-chill.
You know, it's not been a normal year unless you've seen plus 40 and minus 40 in the same year.
Oh, I think they grow them tougher out there.
Or fatter. I don't know, Amy's just a scrawny little thing and she's always complaining about the cold, but I don't care.
I can just imagine that poor girl.
So on Wednesday, she did officially get duct tape to her office chair at work.
I was gonna ask you. Oh my goodness! Couldn't sit still, eh?
The owner's wife is 3 weeks from her due date. She's very pregnant, and the owner Greg, is in Ontario right now dealing with his father's funeral. And so his wife is in the store quite a bit, and Amy was in the office doing paperwork, which meant she was a long ways from her desk. And so the woman started giving her shit for being that far away from her desk. Well, I needed this particular computer to do the ordering. Greg's not here, so I can't just email him what I need. So I did it. Okay, yeah. The woman leaves. And Amy said a minute later she comes walking back in the office, and the next thing she knows, she's spinning in her office chair, and the woman's standing there with a roll of duct tape, spinning Amy and duct taping her into her chair, arms and everything. And all she had movement of is her forearms. And what now? I can't do my job like this. So the lady went and opened all the doors, and then pushed Amy through the store back to her desk, duct taped in the chair, and left her there.
Oh, that's terrific. I love it. Tell me there's picture evidence of this.
If there is, I'm pretty sure under threat of death, she's made them erase it off their phones already. That girl does not like being photographed.
Oh. Well, now
I just lost my audio from you.
Yeah, something went haywire here.
Okay, the thing is, state of Zen. I guess it'd be 10 days ago, my wife went in and had an emergency appendectomy. And she was supposed to take 3 weeks off. But she doesn't sit well, so she took 1 week off and went back to work this week. And so the threat from the general manager was that if she got out of her office chair, that they were going to duct tape her into her office chair. Yeah, she's doing good now, Diana. Of course, still sore and moving slow, but she's recovering quite well. Probably not as well as she lets on.
Okay. How are we doing now?
Good.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened there. Something's a little wonky with that connection. But we're back.
Though I don't know what she's going to do next week, because the first thing she did today, when she went in, was fire her day shift help.
Oh.
So unless she gets a new employee on Monday, she's going to be a hurting unit for a few days.
Oh boy. Well, take it easy. You don't want to lengthen that recovery.
One time too many. Night, bastard.
Have a good night, bastard.
Personally, I'm far more creative than to duct tape to a chair. Just saying. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I just went somewhere for a few seconds. I'm back. Have a good night, Savvy. Thanks
Good night,
for being
Savvy.
here. Oh, Diana, you are first. Well done. Bacon. We made it 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Well, tonight, I guess I'm vaping a lot of things tonight. But what ends up in my hand more than anything else is the cartel mod with the Kraken on top of it. And for juice in it, it's 6 milligram Voodoo Punch. which is the newest juice I have launched, and it's available through Maple Leaf Vapes. Or will be soon available through Maple Leaf Vapes. And it is apple pomegranate blend.
That sounds nice. Thank you, State of Zen. You're very, very kind. I'm glad we could restore your faith in Canadians. We got a room full of good ones, so you've come to the right place. And me, I've got DSV's TygerTyger. It's always on my desk somewhere. It's in the fogger, which I'm growing rather fond of. I think I kind of like this thing. And that's on the Foldiac. And what else we got? I can't remember what's in that. I fired up something I haven't used in a while this week, though. I rebuilt the original AGA. That was one of the very, very first rebuildables I ever got to touch. Thank you, Corey, for that.
AGA-H?
You sent me that. AGA-H, the Hydra, I guess. Yeah, that's right. And it's all nostalgic. I put it on the Magneto, and it looks like it belongs there.
Oh, you got one sitting right here. I'm gonna have to do a rebuild and get it running. Oh, it's even empty and cleaned out.
Oh, I think that tank might be getting dry.
Well, and
Oh yeah, definitely.
if you are looking for something new from me at CEV, Sugar Cookie is in, and there is a new one coming out. It should be mixed fairly soon, called Tree of Knowledge, and it is an apple strawberry blend with just a touch of citrus to finish it off, and it is beautiful. And I am nowhere near too proud to toot my own horn. Tree of Knowledge is going to change people's opinion of apple vapes. That's all politicians, State of Zen, regardless of country. That is all politicians. You run for public office, you automatically lose 50 IQ points. You get elected, you lose another 50. I couldn't daily vape Pringlish, but I do enjoy dripping it once in a while when I need a palate cleanser. It does a really good job of that.
Well, Navcom, we were actually discussing that earlier before you came in, and Corey recommended the IGO W. What was it, the IGO W?
Yep.
Am I remembering right? Yeah.
Now, I gotta be careful about what I say about politicians, because our local politicians, our local MP is a friend of the family, and our local MLA is my cousin.
Well, I'm sure there's exceptions.
No, I'm not going to say there's exceptions. I'm not going to lie. You know, I got to be gentle about how I say it. Okay, straight Nick juice, an unflavored juice, is going to taste like pepper. Without any sweetener added to it, it's going to taste like black pepper. That seems to be the flavor of nicotine. It is a black pepper type taste. And I don't know anything about the Fast Tech IGO products. Mine all came from both CEV and e-cig vapes. Good evening, Wayne. How are you doing today?
Welcome to the room, Wayne.
See, I've never really heard anybody complain that there's not enough flavor in my juice. Everything I do is done to match my taste profile. And I think, you know, the proof is in sales and receptions, but I think my palate is very generic. Like, it seems to match with a lot of other people.
Well, I'm wondering if this might even have to do with time vaping. And I'm not sure how long Asp has been vaping. But, you know, you've been at it a while, Corey. You've had time for your taste buds to recover. And I know my tastes have changed radically since I started.
And I'll be the first to say most of my juices are not made for newbies. Most of my juices are more for the experienced vapor that the taste buds are back to normal.
Yeah.
And I know, like, what I enjoy now in a vape is far different than what I enjoyed, you know, 2 years ago when I got my first kit. I'd have to go back to the old Visa statements to find out exactly when my first order was placed. But I'm thinking we're within a week of being 2 years since I ordered my first kit.
And no state of zen. I wouldn't say there's an end to Vapor's tongue. Every so often, and especially depending what you've been vaping and how long you've been vaping it, you'll just get around to that. One of the things that helps me when that happens is having a mentholated juice on hand. I have a menthol tobacco that's always in something, and vape that for a few hours, even for the better part of a day, and then you try something that was kind of losing its flavor, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm enjoying it like it's brand new. So.
And like, I haven't had Vapor's tongue in 6 months.
Whoa.
What happened?
The audio went crazy there. And the broadcast has dropped. There we go.
Are we back up? Because I'm still encoding. I didn't drop any.
Oh, I can't hear you. Digital junk.
Okay, we should be coming back there right now.
There we go. We're back. No state of zen, not straight menthol. What I have is a very lightweight tobacco with a fair bit of menthol in it. It's a fairly strong mentholated tobacco, and I'll just flip to that. If everything else is losing its flavor and nothing's hitting the spot, vape that for anywhere from a couple hours to the better part of a day, and then when you return to some of your favorites, it's like you taste them all over again. Yeah, a lot of people say the menthol clears the palate for them. Others use a really strong flavored juice of a totally different family or genre, and then when they come back to their favorites, that works.
I use a menthol vanilla. And you should always stock a little bit of menthol juice anyways, because if you get a cold as a vapor, menthol juice is going to be your best friend in the world.
Welcome to the room, Max.
Yeah, Max. Okay, so that one's running now. What did you put in your H?
I've got actually the blend of fluid and mellow melange. It's a half and half blend in there.
I only have 20 milligram fluid. I'm not putting it in a Jenny. That'll kill me. I think we're going to go with Werther's Original Double Shot.
Hey Jay, welcome to the room. Well, state of zen, if you're looking for a strong menthol that's going to really hit the spot when you have that cold and really, really straighten out the taste buds, like bang, right between the eyes, let me grab you a link, because this one packs a punch. It's good. It's strong.
The best one I've had for during a cold is Joke Smoke 3 from
oh, and I've never
Jugheads.
tried the Joke Smoke.
It's ridiculous.
But, that's what I hear. Yeah, Max, that's the one I was going to suggest, the Major Menthol. Now, the one problem State of Zen is Savvy at CEV does not ship to the U.S. However, if you contact him directly, there's a possibility he'll be able to work something out for you.
If you want a strong menthol, haunt a couple of Zen's videos, and whatever menthol Zen is vaping lately, that's probably the best menthol in the US. He's just
he really likes
menthol crazy, really strong, really rich. So pretty much anything that Zen is vaping is going to be a great menthol. Zen, House of Hybrids, creator of the Zenesis.
Max is so possessive in his terms. You met my Joe, and how is that for you, Max? And how's your Mandy?
Evening, Angie.
Kriegs! Welcome to the room. Same to you, Angie.
You know, one thing that I notice, you know, having as much gear as I do, and as I move, you know, as I get new stuff, old stuff gets parked, and sometimes it gets parked for a long time. That AGA-H has been parked a long time. And it's one that I vape quite a bit. It was a daily vape for me. I modified it. Now going back to it, the air hole, which I know I oversized in it, seems so bloody minuscule and small. I'm wondering how I ever vaped it.
You know what? That's so funny because that's what I noticed this week too. I fired it up, built it. Well, not in that order. I built it, filled it, fired it up, and it was kind of like, why did I think this was such a big draw? I'm gonna have to take the Dremel to this. Oh, that's funny. Asp, don't get frustrated. Don't get frustrated. Just laugh. We do.
Well, here's the thing, State of Zen. I can send you a menthol, and I can send it as strong as you want. I do 2 menthols. I do many menthol fruits. But I do a straight menthol and I do a menthol tobacco. I consider them both to be strong, but they're not like Joke Smoke 3 over the top, freeze your lungs strong. But there's the beauty with menthol. You can make it as weak or as strong as the person wants, extremely easily. Well, to put it mildly, the list of requested flavors is probably pushing a couple hundred. The list of completed recipes is in and around 200. And the list of recipes that are on paper that need to be translated into juice at any given time is about 75 to 80. Strawberry rhubarb will stay at the bottom until I get a good rhubarb flavor. See, I got a few new ones that are, on paper. That this is this week's thought process. And so these I'll probably mix on Sunday night and start the steep and test process. And we got an iced mocha latte because that's what I was drinking at work on Monday, and it was really good and I wanted to vape it. And then a peppermint menthol tobacco that I'll call Frostbite. A fruit blend that it's a spin-off of one that I've been doing for myself, and I'm calling it Holy Water. Then we have the King's Melons. That's a creamed watermelon. That's KP's request. And then one that, if it works out, when it works, I'm going to be pretty excited to launch. I took the basis of my RY4, took some of the earth notes out of it, and I'm doing one that I'm calling 9 to 5. It's an all-day work vape. Tobacco, with a touch of strawberry, a touch of caramel, and a little coffee mixed into it. So it's going to come across almost like a tobacco coffee cake. And it should be a very tank-friendly, all-day, complex flavor. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an all-day tobacco that doesn't kind of flatline in the flavor, that there's enough going on, that there's always something exciting in your vape.
That sounds good.
And no, Dan, I didn't send you any tobaccos. Oh no, and see the coffee, I'm extracting my own coffee. I gave up on coffee flavorings, we're doing our own extracts.
Ooh.
And ginger ale's in the works. It really is. Just the current rendition is a failure. Well, it's actually cranberry ginger ale I'm starting with Diana. I think my favorite ginger ale is cranberry ginger ale, and that's what I'm going for first. And no, I do not run my own website. The way I do things is I partner. So some of my juice line goes to Maple Leaf Vapes. Some goes to CEV's store. And then I wholesale to places like e-cig Vapes, River City Vapes, Redux Vapors, VapeStrong, Vapetastic. There's tons of places that end up with my juice. At some point in time, I may have the hours in my day to, finish building my website and actually launch it. But that day seems to keep getting further away from me.
Elusive. Always out of reach.
There is a couple in the works for going to the US right now, State of Zen. I can't comment on how close the deal is to being finished, but it's in the works.
And there is one that currently ships to the US. I'm just putting the link in for you. That's Maple Leaf.
No, go ahead, Max. I'm not a link Nazi. If you got a link to post the link. I'm good with that. Now, my juice line name is Darkside Creations. And the one to actually watch for, Darkside is good stuff. Shortly into December, Jenny Juice is going to launch. And I'm putting every spare minute I have into this. But Jenny Juice, as the name says, it's a juice line specifically for Genesis atomizers. Very thick, very in-your-face flavor, and flavors that are built to work off of stainless steel, where they play best on stainless steel. And it's being marketed completely for the Jenny user. It's only going to be available in 6 and 12 milligram. Well, the thing is, Beetle, it all bases off of me, Darkside Vaper. But the name Darkside Creations actually came from my better half when she was signing me up for my account with the post office. They needed a business name. I didn't have anything started yet. I was just looking for a discount to do giveaways. And so she named the business to Canada Post Darkside Creations, and that we just stuck with it.
And Diana, Jenny is just sort of the pet name that rebuilders give to any Genesis style atomizer. So like your AGA T2 is a Jenny, your Zap, the Zeti Pro is a Jenny. Anything that has that tank and typically the stainless steel mesh wick, you're talking about a Jenny. Yep. Not all rebuildables are Jenny, but all Jennies are rebuildables.
Yeah. And like the juice is going to work in any other device, but it's being optimized for the Genesis, which is my first love in vaping. Everybody needs to learn how to rebuild. Everybody needs to learn to rebuild. You know, I feel sorry for every single vapor out there that doesn't have the time to sit down and learn this, because you stopped smoking, you started vaping, good for you. You found us here, you found a community of support and friends, really good for you. You threw away those cardos and started rebuilding. Welcome home. May the vape gods embrace you. May the flavors blow your mind. The clouds work as witness relocation.
Thanks, Jay, but I had a distinct advantage. I met Corey, and that shortened my learning curve and steepened it incredibly. And Max, our pleasure. Always, we love to help. A magnifying glass helps, and when you're learning, never build when you're in a hurry or frustrated. And always have a reliable vape nearby. Never be building the only thing you have.
That is the most important point that you make right there. If it's the only thing you have, set it aside, put a cardo on, and vape. You need to have a reliable vape in your hands, especially when you're learning. Now, I don't know. Am I 1,000 builds in? I don't know. I don't even think about it. There's no thought process. I grab a sheet of mesh, I cut a chunk off, I roll it, I trim it, I stick it in the hole, I wrap wire on it, I hook it up, I hit the button a few times, I fill it with juice, and I vape. It's literally that quick. And it didn't start out that way.
A lot of people are using those Navcom. Apparently Harbor Freight carries something in the States called the Helping Hands. Now, I don't know what we have in Canada that's similar. There's got to be places that have fly tying stuff like that. But apparently it really helps a lot of folks.
Well, there's the Helping Hands. And this one came from Princess Auto. I think it was about $5. And you just set it up, and if you want to use the little alligator clips to hold stuff for you, you can. I don't. I don't use it at all anymore, it just collects dust. But when I first started rebuilding, this, as well as reading glasses, were a pretty serious part of my rebuilding kit. No matter how bad your eyes are, you get 100 builds in, you're not going to need this anymore. You don't even need to see what you're doing anymore.
Yeah, unless, like, I used to have better than perfect vision. Now I'm getting to that age where newspapers need to be held far away and so on and so forth. But go to the dollar store, get yourself a couple pair of these, keep them by your desk, and yeah, these are absolutely critical when I'm building anything these days.
Well, I still keep them at the desk. They don't get used very often.
Oh man, every time these days.
That is what I normally do. The AGAH I just built tonight, I built it old school. It's an old school atomizer. I built it old school. I wrapped the coil on top of the wick and then broke it in. But these, I gotta be about where my hand is. That's where my eyes focus when I'm wearing these ones. They're 3 power. I got another pair here somewhere. Now the Jenny, I tend to wrap the coil on a drill bit, drop it down through the wick hole, attach it, pull the drill bit out, pulse the coil, break the coil in, then I'll roll my wick, burn it once, get the oils off my fingers, off it, drop it in the hole, pulse it 20-30 times, fill it with juice and vapor. That's my normal way of doing things. This time, I just didn't want to go look for the drill bit. I was lazy. So I did it old school, and it took far more than 30 pulses to be able to get it working. But it's working good now.
Pulsing before helps work out the hot spots and shorts.
Nope. because your
Oh.
coil isn't installed. What pulsing beforehand does
Oh,
is it
oh,
allows
I'm
me
sorry.
to very evenly heat the coil and break the coil in max. Canthol has a heat, like an expanding contraction cycle it runs through, and if you build a coil and just install it, you won't get a great vape right off the bat. It's got to run that cycle maybe 50 times before the wire kind of normalizes, and maintains its size properly. And so by doing it before I ever install a wick, I don't run the risk of any shorts while it's expanding and contracting. That's all worked out before it ever sees a wick. Call it I'm tempering my wick, or tempering my coil. It's probably a better term of what I'm doing. Is I'm just tempering my coil. You'll also notice you get a little bit of shit that flecks off the wire while you're doing it. Impurities, dust, whatever. And my way, it's all gone off it before it ever sees a wick. Now, max, typically I get 3 to 6 months out of a coil. I change them when I get bored, not when they pop. Since I went to 28 and 26 gauge Canthol, I can't remember the last coil I popped. I get bored of them, and then I do a different build.
And for me, sometimes it depends too on the juice you're using. I find that there are juices that gunk up coils more, and you can sort of burn it clean, but closer to the contacts and stuff like that, sometimes gunk will build up and it doesn't burn clean, and sometimes it's just time to rebuild. So heavier stuff that has more caramel, more sweet in it tends to be gooier. Juices with menthol stay clean way longer.
Yeah. Now, Jay, if I had to guess, I am going to say 27.
He's
and
a young
if
buck.
I'm out by 4, I apologize. I figured you were close to 10 years younger than I am. Father of 3, and I better not be a grandfather anytime soon.
Already, Mac.
No, I'm 36, Zen. Though if I shave, I'd pass for 15.
Got that eternally youthful thing going on. Oh, state of Zen. I like you even more now than I did a minute ago. That's about the best answer I've had in a long time to that question. Oh, what? This? Yeah. It was, well, it wasn't exactly a dare. I was just invited to give my best Joe impression, so I asked for a few minutes. Diana, that was actually kind of an accident. Yesterday, I was looking for a hangout late night to visit with some folks, and there was a link, so I joined it, and I'd been there for a few minutes talking to people when they finally told me it was a live broadcast on Nova. It was like, what? Really? So. Thanks, bud. I'll look into that.
Well, the reviews on the razors from Fast Tech quite empirically say don't buy them. If you're looking for a deal on razors, $1 a day or $1 whatever that monthly
Kriegs
razor
is here.
club.
Link us, Kriegs. Link us, Kriegs.
Welcome, cowboy. The blades are extremely thin, from what I've been told, and as long as you don't mind losing the outer 2 or 3 layers of skin, they're probably okay. But if you want to shave on the cheap and don't want to lose your face, go to the Dollar Shave Club, join up. I did sign up. And I believe shipped to my door, it's $7.15 a month.
I'm gonna steal that link too because I keep asking for it and losing it. This time I'm gonna paste it. There we go. Now I have it. Because yeah, I actually did order some of the razors from Fast Tech, and I can tell you, I like those 5-blade ones. I've been using them. So they had those. I ordered them. They are a thinner blade. It has just enough flex in it that when they're new and just deadly sharp, those things can bite you. Every time I put a new blade in my razor, it's like a terrifying experience in the shower. So and very, very careful around the ankles. So yeah, if you're really brave, you go right ahead, but I won't be reordering.
And whether the music is good or the music is bad, I take no credit. I just load a radio station from Pandora and let it play. That is what I do. I believe this one is just a hard rock station. I feed it a few options and it builds a radio station for me.
Wait. Oh my god. Okay, you just cracked me up. Oh dear. And yeah, Kriegs has a point. If you didn't click his link, you've got to go back and do that, because even if you're not interested in razors, you got to see the video.
Yeah, you got to watch
It's
the
a kick.
video. And then, once you're done that video, you got to watch the video for One White Chucks. You just got
Oh
to.
my god.
You gotta watch the video for One White Chucks.
Oh,
And
it's all good.
all I have
Wayne.
to say is what they do with the bunny is so wrong, and at the same time is so right.
What was your comment?
I'd rather use the bunny than the One White Chucks.
Oh gosh.
You know how soft that would be?
Oh my
And
goodness.
if it
We're
was
gonna have
the
to break animal
if it was
rights
if it was
right
the
into
aftermath of like a chilly day, you could always use it against the grain, and it'd be like
Oh.
all good.
Oh dear. Oh
As long as it
dear.
doesn't bite you, it's all good.
You gotta keep the bitey clawy part away from you. Oh jeez. And once again, it seems we're closing on a weird note. That's how I always know we're coming up on the end of the show. The conversation seems to usually take a turn for the strange.
It's all good.
Hmm. Well, Diana, if you are interested in hosting, you just hit me up on Skype or Facebook, and we'll discuss it, because I do have lots of spots in the schedule, and we'd love to welcome some new people. So let's talk.
I think she's wanting someone to host a VapeCon on the West Coast, not host a show.
Oh, okay, all right. I gotcha. Well, we're gonna have closer, Diana. Calgary in the spring. That's somewhat attainable. So.
And on that, thank you one and all for being here. As always, it has been my pleasure to be here with you. And vape on and vape strong.
Have a great night.